Lijiang is the kind of place that steals your breath twice. First with altitude, then with beauty. Tucked against the northwestern rim of Yunnan at more than 2,400 meters above sea level, the city feels like a high balcony suspended between Himalayan foothills and storybook valleys. Snow peaks hang in crisp sapphire sky. Below, canals weave through timber houses whose tiled roofs seem to float like overturned boats. Yet Lijiang's wonder lies not in a single postcard view, but in a mosaic of landscapes and legends stitched together by the Naxi people whose pictographic script, throat-singing ballads and cosmology still whisper through cobbled lanes after 600 years. Follow these 8 places, and you will hear that whisper turn into a song you may never shake from your memory. 1. Lijiang Old Town. The heart of Lijiang beats inside Lijiang, a UNESCO-listed maze first laid out during the Ming Dynasty. Step through any of its stone gateways and the present falls away. Maple leaf shadows dance over red lacquer balconies. Water wheels creak beside channels fed by Jade spring. And shopkeepers in indigo aprons embroider peony patterns while chatting and lilting. Naxi. Wander up Sifang Street before dawn, when lanterns still glow amber and the scent of barley cakes wafts from corner stalls. By afternoon, musicians in fur-rimmed hats strike 3-string lutes on the square, and every lane seems to hum with the timeless rhythm of sandalwood smoke and murmured bargaining. 2. Black Dragon Pool. Park. A 20-minute stroll north delivers you to Heilong Tan, where a jade green lake mirrors the serrated crown of Jade Dragon Snow Mountain so perfectly that poets dubbed it a heaven within a bowl. The crescent-arched Swakui Bridge frames the reflection, while the moon-embracing pavilion poses on stilts like a dancer frozen mid-turn. Visit around 9 in the morning, when mountain light turns the water emerald and cormorants preen on willow branches. In a side courtyard, the Dongba Culture Museum displays scrolls painted with the world's last living pictographs, glyphs shaped like snowflakes, eyes and antlers that map Naxi myths older than the Silk Road. 3. Jade Dragon Snow Mountain. From Chase, Town. A cable car climbs through shifting belts of rhododendron and spruce until tree line gives way to a glacier glittering against cobalt sky. At more than 4,500 meters, oxygen thins and every breath feels like sipping champagne. Yet it is hard to notice the altitude when faced with plunging marble cliffs streaked by waterfalls freezing mid-plunge. Strap on crampons to crunch along the ice-field boardwalk, or remain at the meadow station to watch traditional Baisha villagers perform the Dongba sacrificial dance, drums echoing like distant avalanches. Either way, the mountain stamps its image on your mind, with white-hot clarity. 4. Shuhe Ancient Town. While Dian dazzles, Shuhe soothes. 10 kilometers northwest, this smaller caravansary once hosted pack-horse teams carrying tea toward Tibet. The stone-arched Qinglong Bridge still spans a trout-filled stream, and cobbled paths wind past courtyards shaded by persimmon trees heavy with orange lantern fruit. Rent a bicycle and coast along the Shuhe River to a water-powered leather mill where artisans cut saddlebags with the same half-moon knives their ancestors used. When dusk paints the thatch-topped walls, amber sip yak butter tea at an outdoor cafe and listen to cicadas pulse beneath the musical splash of a bamboo sluice. 5. Baisha Village and its murals. If Shuhe is a whisper, Baisha is a memory. This was the first Naxi capital, and its adobe lanes end at Dabaoji Palace, where Ming-era frescoes blend Han Buddhist deities with Tibetan guardians and Central Asian angels, an illustrated passport of the Tea-horse road. Colors have faded to sepia blues and smoky cinnabar, but the brushwork still conjures lotus ponds, cloud thrones, and compassion-wrapped bodhisattvas that melt the centuries. Outside, Embroiderers stitch silk threads into brocade so fine that finished pieces resemble watercolor. Their needles move like dragonflies, a living echo of the muralist's lost paintbrushes. 6. Tiger Leaping Gorge. 90 kilometers north, the Yangtze carves one of the planet's deepest gorges between Jade Dragon and Haba Snow Mountains. Legend says a fleeing tiger cleared the river in a single bound at the gorge's narrowest point. Gazing at frothing rapids 3,000 meters below sheer cliffs, the leap feels both impossible and inevitable. Trek the high trail for 2 days, past waterfalls that erupt from cliffs like silver spears, walnut groves clinging to terraces, and guest houses whose balconies hover above clouds. At sunset, peaks ignite rose gold, and the river's roar settles into the kind of silence that quivers inside your chest. 7. Shuhe Wetland. To glimpse Lijiang's gentler pulse, head west to Shuhe, a plateau lake framed by barley fields and reed beds. Each winter, tens of thousands of migratory birds, black-necked cranes, bar-headed geese, ruddy shelducks, descend on these mirror waters. Hire a wooden skiff run by a Mosuo fisherman who will pole you past lotus pods and explain which bird. Calls forecast snow. On shore, taste sun-dried yak jerky riddled with cumin. Then ride a horse along cob trails, once trod by caravans heavy with pure tea. The clop of hooves feels like a heartbeat aligned with mountain and sky. 8. Yuhu Village and the legacy of Joseph Rock. At the foot of Jade Dragon, the stone cottages of Yuhu sparkle with feldspar that local masons mixed into mortar. Here, Austrian-American botanist Joseph Rock lived from 1922, cataloging alpine flora and photographing Naxi rituals for National Geographic. His mud brick house now hosts a mini museum cluttered with black and white prints, faded field notes, and pressed gentian blossoms. Step onto the wooden veranda, and the same snow pyramid fills your view, unchanged since Rock's era. Nearby, yak, herders whistle, and a prayer flag snaps in the wind, reminding you that in Lijiang, past and present are not chapters, but facing pages of the same open book. 8 places across 800 words can only skim Lijiang's surface, like a dragonfly, tasting a lotus pond, yet they reveal the city's essence: water that remembers silk, mountains that sculpt faith, and lanes where every stone holds a footstep and a love song. Wander slowly, let the altitude steal your breath, and the melody of Lijiang, part flute, part flowing water, will follow you long after your footprints fade from its cobblestones.